Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing good this morning, and thanks for tuning back into the channel this morning. And today I'm going to share with you guys another little tidbit, new little bait that came along that I guarantee is going to help you guys catch more fish. And it helped me get the 13th place finish last week at Lake Dardanelle and qualify for the Toyota Series Championship, where I get to fish for over $200,000 thanks to it in November. So anyway, a lot of people know that, I've been with Megabass for many years, since 1992, and the evolution in the company as far as, their product line has truly been amazing, and it truly has never been stagnant. I have never seen a company that just consistently comes out with new products, new innovations, new styles, like Megabass has. I mean, Yuki Ito, the owner of the company, he also designs most of the baits, and he's just one of those lure savants. I mean, he's like a genius when it comes to lure design. So I'm going to show you guys one today that, it's new. Probably a lot of people have never heard of this bait. I used it, on and off quite a bit down at Lake Dardanelle last week, and I'll show you what the deal is. It's called the Knuckle LD crankbait. And if you guys are interested in this, Tackle Warehouse carries them. I'll include the Fish of the Moment Tackle Warehouse link in the description. And if you guys would like to order any of these, if you use that link, it helps Johnny and I get a small portion of those proceeds for Fish of the Moment and help support the channel. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about this LD crankbait here. Here it is. I'm going to show you right off the bat. Here it is, the LD crankbait. It's a Squarebill crankbait, but there's more to it. I'm going to show you guys a little bit why. It's in the category of the Squarebills. Squarebill crankbaits, like I said, they've been around forever. I mean, they've literally been around since the early mid 1970s. Hold on a second. I gotta run in there and change Elijah's cartoon just a second. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, Elijah has found this new channel. It's not a cartoon, but it's where these guys have these toy trucks and boats, and they back them in the water and launch them, and they're like remote controlled, and they back their boats in the water, and the boat takes off, and the truck pulls out. He's addicted to the thing, man. He just because he loves to go with me and back his toy boat and truck in the water. But he found a channel that he could watch it now, so he's watching it constantly. I'll probably have to go back in there again and change it. So anyway, let's get back to this crankbait. Squarebill crankbait's been around forever with the big O. They evolved into, the Bagley series Squarebill crankbaits that were the mainstays of the Squarebill crankbaits forever. And then the bait got more and more popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. Every company out there came out with the Squarebill crankbait. And now there's literally a sea of Squarebill crankbaits out there. I mean, literally, it's almost like a plastic worm. Every company's got one. And they're one of the most highly effective lures that you can have. This was a big deal at Dardanelle last week. A lot of guys were fishing the riprap with Squarebill crankbaits. The river was up, the river was muddy, it was unstable. The bite on the grass was very tough, and a lot of people went to the rocks and caught them, and that's how I caught them too, on the rocks. So anyway, the Megabass Knuckle LD, this is a little bit different here, and I want to tell you why. First of all, it's got the circuit bill board on it, and you can see the circuit bill, the width on it is a little bit narrower than most Squarebills. Most Squarebills are probably 50% larger than this. And what this does is this gives this bait a tight wobble. Most Squarebills have a fairly wide wobble at hunt, but this Squarebill is more like it's tight. It's got a more pronounced wobble than like a shad wrap, but it's a fairly tight wobbling, high frequency, high pitched Squarebill that's silent. It's got a fixed balancer inside of it, which makes the bait silent, and that's one of the things I like. I like a silent Squarebill. And what this does, when you have this silent design and you have the tighter wobble that creates a high frequency that doesn't push as much water, this is really good on highly pressured fish like they were at Dardanelle when you have stained water. This is the big key on this. One of the big things about Squarebill fishing is a lot of people like the Squarebill because of the rod thump. They throw it out there, and that rod tip just thumps with it. And that's pretty good at times. I mean, when the bass are aggressive and they're in shallow or dirty water, you know, a thumping squarebill can be highly effective. But when you get into a situation like we had at Dardanelle, where you have multiple boats making passes over the same water, even in the same hour, those fish get conditioned to a vibration. They get conditioned to a frequency, and they simply don't react to it. And if they do react to it, you know, a lot of times they're barely hooked, or they'll swipe at it and that type of stuff. And the big lesson I want to give you guys with the Knuckle LD here is anytime you're in a situation that the fish are finicky, you're getting a lot of fishing pressure, it's not necessarily that you have to change your approach radically, but you change a presentation a little bit different with the profile of the bait, the color of the bait, and the sound of the bait. And that's what the Knuckle LD does. You know, like I said, most squarebills out there don't have a tight wobble. Most of them don't have a high frequency, you know, vibration. Most of them swing, and most of them they don't work like some type of a cold water crankbait. One of the things you're going to find about cold water crankbaits, like the Shad Raps, is they have a tight wobble, but at the same time, a lot of people get locked into the fact that they think cold water crankbaits like the Shad Rap and some flat-sided crankbaits or even the Knuckle LD are for cold water. It's directly the opposite. I found out that when you take a tight wobbler that has no sound and a high frequency, that they work really good in water temperatures that are in the 40s, or the water temperatures are a lot warmer in the 70s and 80s. There's like two different things out there. And a lot of it, like I said, it just has to do with, you know, how to condition those fish to get to a certain bait, because, you know, it doesn't take very long for fish to get conditioned to a certain lure. I mean, when you have a lake like Dardanelle or any lakes out there that get a lot of fishing pressure, those fish aren't stupid. They wise up real quick to something. I don't care if it's a buzz bait or if it's a spinner bait or if it's a lipless crankbait. There's categories of lures out there that really telegraph themselves good. I would put those lure categories into the high telegraphers. But when you have the low telegraphers, you're talking about baits that don't give themselves away. That's why baits like the Cinco and the jig and the plastic worm and the silent crankbaits, you know, work better, simply because the fish can't get conditioned to that same frequency and vibration. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this with you. Knuckle LD by Megabass. Like I said, links in the description to check it out. This bait's going to run probably, you know, 4 to 6 foot deep, depending upon the line size that you're using on. In that particular tournament, I used this bait on a 12-pound test line, and the reason I use the light line when I'm fishing riprap with it is I can control the depth better. If I'm in a situation where I want the bait to stay shallow over the shallow rocks, I simply hold my rod tip higher. And if I want to make long parallel casts deeper on the riprap, the 12-pound test will allow me to get the max depth out of this bait, so I can actually cover 6 inches to 6 feet, you know, when I'm using a lighter line. A big mistake a lot of people use when they're fishing squarebill crankbaits is they use too heavy a line. The only time I use heavy line on a squarebill is if I'm cranking shallow wood laydowns where the water may be only 2 foot deep. But anytime you're cranking a rock bank, riprap, rock bank, that type of stuff, you definitely want to use the lighter line, because it will allow you to be more versatile in the depth range. One quick second, I gotta change the cartoon again. Okay, back again, guys. Hey, when you're like me, when you got 4 kids in the house, you know, you gotta squeeze these videos in any time that you can. I literally gotta squeeze them in just in this minute here, minute there. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know about this. Check it out, Tackle Warehouse, Megabass, Knuckle LD, crankbait. Squarebills are gonna be great all the way through the summer. They're great really all year long. The only time that I don't fish a squarebill much is when the water is in the 40s, but as soon as it hits the 50s, I'm fishing it all year long. I'm using a lot of different profiles. I use all the Megabass S Crank series, the Knuckles. I'll even use some other brands sometimes if I want some different colors that aren't available, different wobbles, that type of stuff. But it's an art form. Squarebill crankbait fishing is like spinnerbait fishing. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of details to it. We'll do more videos later as far as specifics on what to look for. Type of cover, angles, colors, that type of stuff. But I just wanted to share this particular bait with you guys today. So Hope you guys are doing well. I guess thanks again for tuning into the video. Much appreciated. And again, we're getting in to the close to 35,000 subscriber mark. Probably ought to hit it within the next couple weeks. So if you guys want to help the channel out, please, share these videos that I'm doing with your friends and help them subscribe to the channel, and we'll get there. And when I get there, we'll be giving away another free pair of Solar Bat Signature Series glasses, a case of Bridge for Beef Jerky, and much gratitude and appreciation for myself. So we'll talk to y'all later. See you.